mirrored system. So you can do 2 3s and 2 5s, and you don't need to go to that really high level, right? So the Aztec system, this was homemade, huh?
Well, we bought
But you bought it. So it's from what company was it from? Huh.
I'm just learning right now it's not called the Aztec Company.
No, it's not, right? So,
Is it Aztec up?
Yeah.
It's whatever's in the bag.
so it's
We just know not to take it apart ever. Yeah.
yeah.
You got a video. If you've never done it, you gotta watch the
Exactly,
video.
right. Yeah, we'll show you. Yeah, so we've got ours here also. So basically, with the Aztec, though, what it gives you that 4-to-1 pulley system, or 5-to-1, depending on which way I'm pulling, to move up and down on the system. This one is built for only. You'd have to move this up to here to use it from the other direction, right? But so and we'll demonstrate using this. We'll actually show you how you move up and down with it. This is how you guys move as the rescuer, right? When you're on the system, right? And then your second place you use it is where?
That's really it for the rescuer, but I think you're going to show us, if we have time, how to use it to pass a knot, right?
Yeah.
So, but that would be it.
You can also use this same system. It makes it a lot easier than the older system. It's a pretty nice way to go for it.
We usually only use it, if we're if we're using the Stokes or a hasty harness, either way. But yeah.
So the Aztec. And once we get to who's done some of the attendant work before, who hasn't done attendant work before? Attendant meaning gone down over the side as the rescuer and had to attach up to the stuff. All right. So if you do it, this time this will be one of the devices you'll use. And so then now you can adjust your height on the system when you're down there. So you want to be a little higher up on the dog or a little lower down to get to something, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to maneuver yourself using this device. All right? And this holds you where you're at. It's got the pulleys here. You can actually raise yourself up using this rope without anybody else's assistance. And then this prusik, just like we tied, same kind of prusik we tied out there, it's going to stop the rope from lowering down. So when you let go, it's going to grab the rope and keep it in place. And again, it'll make a lot more sense when we actually use it. We'll demo it. So that's what the bear paw or the collection plate gives you, is the ability just to make things cleaner and easier at the anchor point. And we'll set some stuff up with it, so you'll see it. It'll make sense later, especially when we do the knot bypass. It'll make things a little cleaner there. Now, how much weight is on the anchor right now?
Okay. So only the pulleys count for getting the camera.
This is 100. Both going this way. 200. Yeah, so there's 200 pounds on that anchor right now. It's seeing double the weight because
But that's going to give you the canopy.
I'm not helping anything. It may be easier to pull, it may be easier to do my haul going downhill, but this doesn't actually help me in terms of mechanical advantage. It might help me physiologically on to do the lifting. So I come down here, we just tie a regular old prusik on here, got the omni block, put it through, close it, lock our carabiner,
This is it's 1-to-1.
and set it.
1, 3, 5. It's an odd system.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's an odd system.
Okay.
Because, the anchor is at the low, which makes it an odd system.
All right, so now when I'm pulling up on the rope, Jeremy's actually, his weight is, up to this point, it's still 100 pounds, right? At that point, it breaks between these two and shares, and it comes up here and splits again, right? So right now, he's hanging on 3 ropes, right? So it's 3-to-1. But one way to look at it, there's thousands of different team methods and all kinds of other stuff if you want to geek out on YouTube. There's all kinds of ways to explain it. CMC has it, I think, in their manual too. Do you guys have their manual? It's pretty good one. Right? It's good basic stuff. Well, I think they just came out their 6th edition. I think I saw that. Yeah, just recently. So this is a simple 3-to-1, right? So I'm pulling up 33 pounds theoretically. Now there'll be some loss and friction in both pulleys, blah blah blah. But so it's 3-to-1. So I'm pulling up, which means I like to pull 33 pounds to lift his 100 pounds.
Right.
But how much extra rope do I have to pull for every foot he's coming up? Yep, 3 feet, right? So that's where you're going to pay the man somewhere, right? You're always going to pay. So with the MPD, the bonus is, as opposed to like in the old days when this was a pulley, I can let go at any time. In this MPD, because if I was designed that cam that was in there, it's going to cam off, the rope's not going anywhere, right? And so, I just keep lifting, I can lift them again, let go, and I can do all the work I want, right? Because the MPD is always going to lock off on it, right? Okay, so that's the basic 3-to-1 we use to lift them. And then the bonus is, right, so I can't extend this 3-to-1 all the way over the side because now I got 3 ropes going over the edge and it's just extra friction, all kinds of problems. So we're gonna just do this reset with the prusik. So you slide this down, you know, set it again. Haul the whole way until you get.
Yeah, we'll try and order some.
Let the rest of the nose stop.
Yeah.
Resetting, you might have to break the prusik up a little bit. Slide it down.
So with this,
I think sometimes we have a hard time with our Prussiks grabbing if they were like a smaller diameter. Like I wonder how they feel about that weight wise. Like,
Yeah, we've got some smaller diameter ones, yeah, but it seems like
inside that curve here,
that's like the smallest we use for at least the.
on the prusik, it makes it really hard.
because you can get ones.
Yeah, so you grab this rope. Alright?
Build
Makes
a
sense?
9-to-1 on a
Right?
3-to-1.
That's exactly what you guys do, right? I think I watched your video, same technique. Right, so all I'm gonna do is exactly what we just did there, but I'm gonna do it on this one. And I need one more single pulley. And it could be one of the bad ones too. Oh no! Okay, sweet. All right, so if we think about it, we've got 1 3-to-1, and then we're gonna put another prusik here. All right, when you put a prusik on, it's almost like you can almost pretend you're putting it. It's a whole new rope system. All right, so we're building a 3-to-1 onto a 3-to-1 here. Prusik in public.
So everybody know what that makes? Well, everyone want that question, right? We had the 3-to-1. 3-to-1 on top of a 3-to-1 that's already moving.
6-to-1?
9-to-1.
So think of that, yeah. If that one's gonna move this rope 3 feet, right? You know, like, or every 3 feet that you're pulling will move it 1 foot, and then that'll make this. So then you think of it as like feet. Like how many feet does it take to move this? A foot. And then that's how you'll get your compound. You'll see how it multiplies.
Again, we're just building the very simplest one here. You can extend this. This could be on a separate anchor to make it even cleaner. We'll talk about doing a directional. You can actually do something different with this also. And because the collapse rate of these are going to be different, so it's going to be weird. Because if I pull, let's pretend this doesn't even exist. For every foot Jeremy comes up, how much rope am I pulling here?
9 feet.
3 feet.
That's 3 feet.
This is attached to that same rope. This is a 9-to-1. For every foot he comes up, how much rope am I pulling here? 9, right? So the collapse rate of this whole thing.
Resetting's a little more awkward.
So
yeah.
here's a secret to that.
Yeah, so, yep.
Let's say this anchor is not up here, like it's like a tree. You can take that next one and go back another 10, 15 feet to another anchor way back there. So then when it's collapsing, you're not resetting this one so many times. So it can be in line without it having to be on the same
So if
anchor
you go-
itself.
So let's say my throw from this to this is 20 feet. If I go back another 40 feet from this to another tree back there, they're going to collapse at the same rate.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they're both going to collapse at the same place.
You don't have to get stuck at one point. You can go, oh, I can go way back there farther. Like, there you
Yeah, maybe we
And
can
when
try
you pull
that.
this one back out, it's going to pull the other one back out
Yeah.
with it. And
Okay.
you won't have to reset.
And
So
you
it's
can
pretty-
see that tomorrow with all those trees and options that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It's a 9-to-1, right?
We
So
don't do this, do we?
We will. Sometimes we have a skeleton crew, and we don't have haulers, and
yeah, so
yeah.
you can see, like it's very easy for me to pull Jeremy now.
Okay,
right?
so
Yeah,
this
so-
remains stationary.
60 pounds of force.
That front
nine.
plastic is always
Yeah.
going to be moving at the same rate as Jeremy, right?
So that's how you can figure
Okay.
what you need to do with the amount of
So-
This
power
is
that
the
you
one that's
have.
collapsing at
That's
the
what I
faster rate.
mean. This remains stationary.
Yes.
while you-
So
can't
I
move.
keep doing this, but
Okay.
you see how this is moving way faster? This orange is coming way. So I have to keep resetting this.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Every
So,
3 feet of that does 1 feet of that, and I barely move.
Right.
So,
But
but
you're like,
have to reset them.
Yeah.
With this,
because I'm right here. If, like I was saying, if
you're
this,
back
you go.
farther.
Yeah, just this connection point right here that he's doing.
yeah, when we have trees tomorrow,
Yeah.
we can set it up where this is twice this
Wait a minute.
distance
Oh,
back
you're
there.
thinking. Okay.
Now the collapse rate's gonna be the same. It's gonna come in.
So the secret to an MPD is that through the MPD, it has to stay in line for it to work. That's here. But through that pulley, it can be a little bit off. It's okay. It just, the MPD has to be in line or it creates friction in the device. But through the pulley, it can go off at a slight angle to another tree and still be able to collapse okay.
So this would be
Go
optimal.
back to something and tie off, and that's going to be called a vertical edge line, right? You have horizontal edge line, which is just basically telling everybody don't go past here. Vertical is keeping me so I can lean out and look, and I won't fall. It keeps me at that same point. Whoever's going to be the over the edge guy that's going to keep an eye on running it all, like I got eyes on a person, what's going on. I'm going to be on the system so I can lean out and check out what's going, down below. If you have something like this, you can pre-measure, going, okay, this gets the knot and the carabiner past where I need to be over the edge. So that's where I'd start. And then, since MPDs like to move, right? You don't need a lock, but you can just tuck that through for now.
Oh.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough friction that it's just not gonna. It's not gonna move on you, right?
Actually, did you put that through the other way? It's just so if you're going to use that additional locking brake, it's going to go inside to outside, like this.
Oh.
She's getting that habit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the other way,
Yeah.
go
I would just do it so you're looked in. You can lock it
If
down.
you're ever going to use it, just get in that habit. If you're ever going to grab that notch, you want to go inside and come out with it, like that. So it's another S. Right? One S and another S. Yep. And then we lock it.
Nope. Don't need a lock.
Because nobody's on it right now. Nobody's, we're not waiting. We're just doing it to keep it from going any further. Because it will, if it's not under load, that rope will kind of keep flowing out sometimes. And then this contraption, you can take that thing, put this on.
Yeah. Sure you have it open. We're only doing this because of the railing. So because this is slightly off, right? It's not right in line perfect, and you could come off on either side.
Yeah.
This allows the rope to go to here
Oh.
and here, and it limits. It's just you're limiting to how much movement we have so the rope doesn't slide and go over, which would be a nice 4-foot drop, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Ross would appreciate that. So this is just because of the railing. If this was all one without any cracks here, it's not quite as worried about it,
Yeah.
right? But since we're at the edge, if we don't do something, it's going to suck him over all the way over to here as
Yeah.
it's getting lower down.
Yeah. That would hurt.
There's still anywhere.
Yeah.
Onto this, so I just keep my hands out in case I fall sideways,
Don't hold on to the
that kind of stuff, right? And then I'm just gonna walk down the side. I want my legs pushing off into it. I don't want to be reaching down. Well, here you can reach down because it's really rough gravel. But if you're reaching down, you'll slam, you'll slip, your feet will hit and stuff like that. I want to be in a good L shape, pushing out away from my object, whatever it is. If I want to slip like this, I'm just 90 degrees to it. If it's straight up and down, I want to be 90 degrees to that. And then hands just out.
Ready? So you take it out of there. So, and your hand's not on here, right? So there's no on and off switch, so you don't have to stress about it. See, so now it's both out of the system now. Get your hand, and you're gonna turn it on. So, okay, so see how you started? It has to start uncomfortable if you're gonna finish like that. So you good?
And then you turn.
Yep, turn it on all the way, and it shouldn't move. He should not move with it because the rope's all the way back. Right? Now, you're going to set the speed. You're going to watch him, and I have to give you clues, and you're going to watch the speed of the ticks of the rope to try to match that. And then if his hand goes forward, that's why that has to be on and off. Because if you're feathering it, the second person cannot see how you're feathering it. They can only see by how hard you're gripping, how forward this is, and the ticks of the rope. That's one extra thing that's really hard to see. Is just how if you're throttling it. So it has to be on and off. Turn it all the way on. Okay. So ready? All the way on. Okay. And now yours all the way on, and now you slowly let out. If you want to speed it up, you move this hand, right? Forward. Okay, up. Keep going. Keep going. See, this is like for us to train. You walk over with me. There you go. Okay, that's good right there. That's all I've got. That's all you got.
Wow.
Right there. Okay. So now, don't even worry about this.
Jeremy, walk it off there.
Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. So what you're going to practice is you're going to be sitting into this, and how do you lift yourself up in this system? So this is, if you had to be below, you don't ever have to be lower than this, right? It'd be pretty bad. But now you can still get yourself all the way to the top. If you have this and it allows you to move this much, set it up to use it. If you're only using half of it, it really limits what you can do. You don't have to be down here, but if you need to, you can. If he needed to, he could swing all the way off the system over here and get off of it unweighted if you had to go over a hard 90. So you're not pulling him into a hard 90. Which sometimes we've done that Rocky Butte, you're at this hard 90, you're like, oh, this is real hard. I'm trying to pull him up and, you know, up and the litter. This would be a chance you could do it separately too, because he has enough swing room. All right, Ross, let me know when you're ready. And the nice thing about this is
They're locked off and tied off.
you can get into here, right? Okay, and you can push off away and then like weight the system, pull yourself up. Yeah. So pull yourself up so this is weighted into it. You can lift yourself, yeah. And then go 90 in your feet, okay? And now you can move this out of our way. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now this is the tricky part, is moving yourself into the system. You're like, oh, so much work, right? And it is. And you're hanging, so this is going to be the hardest it is. So one thing you can do is you can go like this, and you can put a loop in it on your leg, and then hold up on this, and then step. Just to try to, like, if you can't do it with your hands. There we go. Having that locked off there, like to pinch, roll, like that with your hand, and then do that, and then you can step up into it. And then you're like, okay, I don't want to be descended anymore. Yeah, I get it.